Very good afternoon to all of you. I'm Saloni Sancheti, your host for today's webinar. I'd like to welcome all of you to the session scheduled today. I'd also like to welcome our guest speaker, Ms. Sana Singh. Thank you so much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and joining us here today. Sana ma'am is a senior associate at Singhania and LLP, Singhania Partners and LLP, New Delhi, India. She is a diligent and systematic with more than 4 years of professional experience in providing legal advisory and assistance to domestic and international businesses on various issues related to intellectual property rights. She is also actively involved in handling hearings in contentious matters before the Intellectual Property Office and the Appellate Board. Besides IP, MAM also advises clients on various legislative requirements and regulatory approvals required under the food law, legal metrology, drugs and cosmetics. Moreover, she has also been invited as a speaker at various IP awareness programs among the R&D based industries and events organized by the University of Delhi, Cell for IPR, and the Confederation of Indian Industry. Once again, ma'am, I'd like to welcome you. I'd also like to request all the participants to keep their mic and camera off throughout the session. In case you have any queries, you can put it in the chat box or ask ma'am directly in the question and answer session. Without further ado, let's start. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Saloni, for this introduction. Hello, everyone. First of all, am I audible? Hello?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yeah, okay. So I would like to extend my thanks to Vidhi Parivartan for giving me this opportunity to throw some light on this topic related to intellectual property rights and the due diligence process related to the same. So I will start sharing my screen. Is my screen visible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay. So beginning with the topic and the presentation today, uh, before starting, I would like to mention that in any business or a startup, everyone in today's world would want to be on the number one and would want to ace in their industry. And to do so, the success and the failure would depend on what prior study and knowledge and understanding is done before initiation and also during the procedures to have a complete understanding of the business structure and the business management. To begin with, let's understand what is business risk management. The most important step in any business venture is to weigh all the possibilities and the risks which are involved with the business venture. You need to identify the risk. Once the same is done, you need to assess those risks and take measures to control the same. Once the measures are in place, to begin with, let's understand what is business risk management. The most important step in any business venture is to weigh all the possibilities and the risks which are involved with the business venture. You need to identify the risk. Once the same is done, you need to assess those risks and take measures to control the same. Once the measures are in place and the controls are in place, a timely check and review is done. Why I say that this is the most important step of beginning the business, because it is the first step and it is similar to a domino effect in the sense that one event is linked to the entire business, and if there is any issue with the initiation, it's going to have a trickling down effect and it can lead to a collapse. So it's better to identify the risk at the initial stage where there are low chances of risk than to reach a situation where the risks are going to be high. Before we move on to the due diligence process, let's understand what an intellectual property right is. It is a right related to an intangible asset of your business venture. It is an exclusive right which is granted to the creator of the or the owner of that IP, and it is given for a fixed period of time depending on the various statutes, and it is given at the time of disclosure of such IP when you disclose it in the public or you file it or you protect it under different statutes. Moving on, let's discuss about what are the different types of intellectual property rights. When we talk about technologies, inventions, any novel new invention or inventive step, it is protected under the Patent Act and it is your patent. When we talk about brand recognition, brand logos, or anything which you've devised to identify the brand, such as Apple for computers, phones, technology, that is the brand logo which is protected under Trademarks Act. Moving on to the aesthetics of a product that you create, which is protected under the Designs Act. Any content or any dramatic work or any musical work, anything content related, even a software code is protected under the Copyright Act. GI, geographical indication, is a right which is given to a community depending upon the area from where a product is originating from. Then we have different categories such as integrated circuits layout, PPVFR, which is the plant variety protection given to different new novel plant varieties, and it also protects the farmer's right. We also have another IP, which is the trade secret, which is like the USP of your business, which is a confidential thing, and it forms an integral part of your business. Those are the trade secrets of your business, and they're protected by contractual means. Moving on, let's understand what are the different various benefits of IP, intellectual property rights. It helps you to monopolize your business. You can be the single player related to a particular invention. If it's new, novel, you can have monopoly over it. Then it acts as an asset to your company or your business venture, like any other property, which is a tangible property. IP also guarantees risks and returns, and it is like an investment tool. It is a branding tool, a marketing tool, because that is how it will be, your business will be recognized in the market. It helps reduces competition in the industry where your category of businesses exist. So if you're first in the market and your invention or your IP is one of a kind, it helps reduce competition if it's protected as a statutory right. When we talk about startups, you have investors and you need to raise funds. Protected IP also acts as a fundraising mechanism. And then ultimately it leads to commercialization and gain. Moving on, let's understand what an IP asset management system is. In any business, you need to know what the IP is, what your industry is, what are the IPs that can be created. So you need to first promote intellectual property right awareness. Post that, you need to have fixed budgets for such protection of rights. Then you need to identify what all has been created and how it should be protected, and measures are to be taken to protect the same. After the IP is in place and the actions for protecting is done, you need to evaluate the same so that you can expect returns out of it. And regular checks and audits have to be maintained so that you are aware how your IPs are in place and it works as an asset for your business. Now let's begin with due diligence. On a lighter note, I would like to say that due diligence is just like a treasure hunt where you have hints and you have basic information, and then you ultimately gather everything so that you structure everything and then it works like a fact-finding mechanism. So due diligence is exactly that, a fact-finding mechanism where you gather all the facts and structure it to work as an asset for the business. IP due diligence is something where you, like any other property, you treat IP as an asset so that it has its attached returns to it. For example, any person who purchases a car or a house will obviously weigh all the benefits and the risks attached to it before investing into something like that. So as any other tangible property, intellectual property also acts as an asset where people or buyers who want to invest in the same would want to have a proper check and balance done beforehand so that proper evaluation related to the IP is done and the risk, the returns, the benefits all are weighed before investing. If a business venture has their IP secured, that acts like a strength of the business. And it is a sign of security, which leads to higher funding. Moving on, what is the purpose of due diligence? Whenever a business has reached a certain stage where investment has been done, assets have been created, whether tangible or intangible, it personally also businesses evaluate themselves. So it is done when asset has to be evaluated. When there is a merger, an acquisition, or a joint venture happening, the seller needs to provide with certain details related to the business, and the buyer also conducts a prior due diligence to know about the businesses. During situations of licensing or assignment, when an IP has to be licensed or assigned in return of some monetary value, a proper due diligence is conducted to know the status of that particular IP, which is a property of the business, which is being transferred or assigned in exchange of some consideration. For a business, it acts as a risk mitigation system as well. Timely due diligences can be done to know what are the risks associated with the properties of the business, the IPs, so that it can be deleted from the initial stage and the risks are avoided. FTO is another situation where due diligences are conducted, which is the freedom to operate. The businesses who are in technical field and inventive field, they need to exercise freedom to operate searches so that they know that what they are creating is not present in the public domain or they're not infringing third party rights of anybody and they are free to operate their invention in the market. In case a business needs to take some funding or loan against their IPs or any other property, so during mortgages, such due diligences are done so that in exchange of that property, the desired amount of loan can be granted. As I stated earlier, in situations of startups or any other businesses, investments are the key. When investors want to raise some funding or provide funding, they also have a complete check done before doing so. Now moving on to what are the main factors that are to be considered when an IP due diligence is conducted. First of all, you need to see what is the scope of the due diligence. You need to be aware of the ambit of the due diligence and the value associated with it. For doing so, when an IP due diligence is conducted, the first step is to check the title, the chain of title. It has to have a clear ownership that the person selling owns the actual IP so that the person buying is not bound by any other third party or is not infringing any third party rights. Third factor is the liability associated with the IP that is being transferred or IP that is present. We need to know about the liabilities so that the associated risks can be calculated in a timely manner so that the investment is weighed prior to any future issue that may arise. Before investing, the potential of a business is an important factor which is considered. So during an IP due diligence, this is an important factor that you see how a particular IP can work as an asset and give you potential returns in the future. explained earlier, freedom to operate is also an important factor while conducting IP due diligences. The validity of each IP is to be checked, followed by the checking of the compliances that are to be met with as per the statute. Moving on, there are major challenges which are faced in any kind of due diligence, and specifically IP due diligence as well. The most important factor is that we should be well aware about the time and the cost involved. If there is less amount of time or less cost is involved, or maybe it can be more cost and less time, it can be a major challenge in the due diligence process because things will be done in a hurried manner. If we are not aware of the defined scope or the ambit of the due diligence, it can be done in a haywire manner, which can pose a major challenge, and it will not serve as a purpose for the IP due diligence for which it is conducted. If there is mismanagement in documents and improper docketing is done, it poses as a major challenge as well. When we talk about IP, these days everything is available on the online portals, but old records, if they're not updated in a timely manner, and due to unavailability of these records, the issue arises in a due diligence report. If there is a miscommunication between the person conducting the due diligence, between the target company, and for which the due diligence is being conducted, it leads to issues in the final analysis. Lack of awareness in a business related to IP is a major challenge these days. There can be a situation where the business is probably creating something unique, owns something unique, which can be an invention, any other IP related to the business, but they're not even aware that this particular IP exists and forms a part of their business venture. Lack of competency can also be another challenge. If the person conducting the IP due diligence do not have the expertise, it can create an issue in the final analysis. When we talk about challenges, I would like to mention about a very old but famous case study, which is the Volkswagen and Rolls-Royce venture. It was a $900 million deal, but only after the deal, Volkswagen realized that Rolls-Royce trademark was not included up in the part of a deal, and they were just licensed the right for a short period of time. Due to this lack of awareness, due to this lack of correct analysis, Volkswagen suffered major losses. So hence it is important to conduct the IP due diligence in a manner which is done in a proper manner from the very beginning, so that the final analysis and all the risks, all the benefits, all the liabilities are weighed in a proper manner at the very beginning before closing the deal. I would like to end the presentation by just a few key takeaways. That every business venture should have a vision for creating and protecting IP. Hence, IP awareness, IP literacy programs is important for any person, so that people are aware what can be protected, how it can be protected, and what are the benefits that can arise out of that. Proper budgeting and timely audits should be done so that IP as an asset is protected in a holistic manner. Self-evaluation is also an important thing. Each business, in every 5 years, 10 years, they can evaluate their entire business scope so that they know their worth, their evaluation, so that it helps them to have this as a pitch to investors and for fundraising as well. It will help to enhance the corporate structure entirely. So I would like to end this by saying that due diligence is the key, and it should begin from the very start by knowing what you create, by knowing how to protect, and by having proper budgets and audits done in a timely manner. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for enlightening our participants on such an interesting topic.